Madam CS, welcome to this wonderful conference. Before you came in, I was just trying to plead with the delegates that in front of them there are some sweets, and because of austerity measures, kila mtu anakula mbili mbili peke yake. But CS, your table is 4-4 each. And I know the chairman does not eat sweets, so CS, you have 8. Tuko sawa. Very, very fine. Thank you very much. I would like to recognize the following people who are here with us. Professor Nicholas Letting, the chairman of APSER. If you're here, we'd like to acknowledge you. Professor Lekoko Kenosi Zayed of University of Abu Dhabi. Zayed University in Abu Dhabi. Madam Anne Cornish, the CEO of Rimpa Global, Australia. Mr. Nicholas Gray, the regional manager for Family Search. Oscar Otieno, the Deputy Data Commissioner. Madam Jacqueline Buru, the MD of METROFILE. Robert Malloy, the AG, Director, Data Technology Office at the World Bank. And Dr. Naftal Chwer, Director, Records Management, who will also be making some remarks later on. Madam CS, thank you very much for finding time and for giving us this wonderful opportunity. We have been here trying to find and to build and to share knowledge and the best practices in this particular field. And we thank you for coming today, because seeing you here is a definite representation of not only the government's commitment to digitization and digitizing government, but also to these people who sit here and set up records every day. I just met a very interesting gentleman today, Madam CS. He served for 37 years in government. And those of us who've served there for a few years know very well, for you to serve past that number of years, really it must either be God has sent you, or you're looking for a salary, or it was actually service. So at the end of this program, we shall be recognizing about 100 people, but we shall only do a symbolic 4, who have served government tirelessly and are now retiring. So at the end of the program, Madam CS will ask you to preside over that as they go on to retirement, that they are retired but not tired, that they can come back and help us in consultancy as we go along. Madam CS, allow me to please welcome the chairman of the conference organizing committee, Mr. Vitalis Adongo, who just make some small remarks, and then I will ask us to take our eyes and put them and assign them to the screen, and then I'll be back with a few minutes. I welcome Vitalis.
Finally, the day is here. This is the day you have been waiting. Cindy, are you excited? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Asante Sana, Madam CS, for honoring this invite. We welcome you to this 8th conference. And we are pleased to welcome everyone and all the guests in this conference here in Naivasha. So our theme for this year, Madam CS, will be from digitization to digital transformation, which actually reflects the transformative changes in information management and the role we play in fostering digital resilience. So over the next few days, Madam CS, we will delve into key topics such as we'll be talking about digital transformation strategies. We'll talk about artificial intelligence, which is the current new kid in the block, and the emerging technologies that shape records and information management. So I wish also to extend my gratitude to the sponsors. We have Diamond sponsor, that is METROFILE here in the house. We have Rimpa Global here and Cornish you met. We have Family Search International. We have CPF Lights. We have Britam also. All the banners are lined like the same. AGS Manage and Leadership Through Data in the absentia. So all these partners have made this conference possible, and we are really grateful for them. Thank you so much. Madam CS, as we embark on this journey together, let's embrace collaboration, teamwork, innovation, and learning through our discussions and networking. So together we can drive a positive change and set new standard in digital records and information management. So finally, Madam CS, I'd like to acknowledge the Karma Conference Organizing Committee just by the sign of your hand, Maureen Kenga, Christine Joroge, Joanne Kamau, Timothy Mutemi. He's manning the tent outside. So all these are part of the committee that has made this conference a success. So thank you so much. So I really appreciate you, Madam CS, and I welcome the chair of the Karma, to say remarks. Before that, we can be able to hear the video about more about Karma. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Vitalis. And Madam CS, I want to assure you that Vitalis has a deeper voice, but I don't know what's happening. And maybe it's digitized it. That's why it was sounding like a soprano or choir. Lakini is a good man. Madam CS, a small interlude before I bring in the video. Tafadhali.
Kindly, I want to request everybody if you can stand. We want to do an African Kenyan twist. Let's go. Let's do this. Everybody.
Madam CS, I want to tell you that last night we had a cocktail, and what you're seeing here was people rehearsed yesterday. And we had one particular lady who we want to acknowledge publicly. Where is the lady? Madam, please come and shake the CS's hand. Those, if you know, you know. Just, Madam CS, you should invite her for another function that you'll be having. Am I doing the right thing or the wrong thing? Yes. Thank you very much. Please, you may be seated, and please affix your eyes on the screens as we play a short video.
The Kenya Association of Records Managers and Archivists is the professional body for records and archives management professionals in Kenya. KAMA was registered in Kenya on the 8th of October 2010 under the Society's Rules, Certificate number 33010. Our focus is on engendering professionalism in the management of information and records in Kenya, whilst being at the center of sustainable development and digital transformation through effective records and information management. Boasting a total of 1,800 registered members from across all organizations in public and private sectors, as well as non-governmental entities, we are proud that KAMA is today the most vibrant records management professional association in Africa. In the last 14 years of its existence, KAMA has focused on building talent as well as driving advocacy for effective records and information management across organizations in Kenya. Our annual conference is the largest conference by any records management professional association in the continent. We continue to offer robust training and talent development opportunities for our members and records management professionals in Kenya and beyond. As our commitment to bolstering strong talent for records management in the country, we have in the last 3 years delivered out 34 workshops on various technical and leadership areas in records management. These trainings have reached 600 records management professionals across 129 organizations. In our endeavor to remain steadfast to the spirit, we have been able to develop enabling tools to help us embed professionalism and good practice in records management. These include a Code of Professional Conduct developed in 2021, RIM Competence Framework developed in 2022. We also have initiatives aimed at driving advocacy, capability, and motivating positive action in the profession in Kenya. These include Karma Talent Development Program that seeks to identify and develop emerging talent in digital records management. Records Management Awards that seek to recognize organizations with best records management strategy in business as well as individuals who are driving impact in their organizations through records management. Professor Justus Wamukoya Award that while we build our resilience locally, we continue to partner with international professional bodies to support us along our journey, among them the International Council on Archives and RIMPA Global. We are proud and grateful of these strategic partnerships and what they have been able to do for the records management profession in Kenya. We continue to seek and remain open to more partnerships and invite all organizations aligned with our vision to partner with us. Our annual Records Management Conference remains a hallmark platform for the RIM professionals in Kenya to engage with our stakeholders as well as amongst themselves on pertinent issues to elevate the role of records management in sustainable development. Our conferences have grown from the first conference in 2017, which had 50 delegates, to today when we are able to host in excess of 400 delegates at our conferences. As we look ahead, we are optimistic of the future of records management in Kenya and Karma. We are committed to work with our stakeholders to ensure effective management of records and information in our country to enhance our socio-economic development. Welcome to the Kenya Association of Records Managers and Archivists, and welcome to this annual Records Management Conference.
Thank you. And now, Madam Cabinet Secretary, allow me to welcome the Chairman of Karma, Dr. Cleophas Ambira, to just make his remarks as we begin the official part of our program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MC. Our chief guest this morning, the Honorable Cabinet Secretary for ICT and Digital Economy, Dr. Margaret Ndungu, Director from ICT Authority, Director Mike Odhiambo, Director of Shared Services, Dr. Choya, our Director for Records Management, and also representing the Principal Secretary, State Department for a culture where records management is domiciled, our partners, Ann Cornish, all the way from Australia, Jack Mburu from METROFILE, all other guests already recognized here. Good morning. I'm here to really, on behalf of Karma members and on behalf of the leadership, to welcome you to this 8th Records Management Conference. Madam CS, you probably have no idea how we are thrilled with your presence. It's the first time in our history we are hosting a cabinet secretary in our conferences. And so out of your very busy schedule, it means a lot to us. For many years we've been asking, we need to elevate our conversations. We need to engage the right people. And I know members, you can see it's happening, isn't it? So why don't we give the CS an even more round of, yeah. But also let me tell you, there's something I enjoyed, Madam CS, getting through your office. ICT is supposed to bring efficiency, and I experienced that. I think I reached out to the CS, should have been the second week after your appointment through the office, and we got feedback in less than 2 weeks, accepting the CS. It doesn't have, I'm celebrating that because it's not always, it's not always the case. There are people we invited up to today, we have not got a response. So we are not sure whether. So that meant a lot to us. And Madam CS, I must personally really thank you, and thank you, your office, for just honoring and really coming back to us. The people here in chief guest, these are the records management professionals, the people responsible for management of information in all our organizations, public and private, drawn from different organizations. We do have, as you've had, also people from outside the country. I do know we have people joining us virtually in their numbers from around the world as well. And we are here because this conference is a platform for us to engage on how best we can drive sustainable development and the place of records and information management in driving sustainable development. So our conferences are not talking about ourselves. They are not about academic discussions. They are about practical solutions we need to deliver to our country. And that's why you'll see a lot of partners coming here and talking to us on that practicability. Yes, as the brief has indicated, we are proud as an association. We're the largest and most vibrant in the continent. We are just about 14 years old now, as you have seen, and we are happy with the achievements we are making. But I must say that is because of the support we've got from different stakeholders, and today we are so proud we have finally managed to get the partnership with the ICT, isn't it? And members have been saying, we need to partner with ICT, we need to work with ICT. So we said now we will go straight at the top, and it has worked, isn't it? So Madam CS, I'm emphasizing that because that has been the members' instructions to me as the chairman, to make sure we are joined at the hip, records people and ICT people. And it's even more in the current digital world, and therefore we must be able to work together. And this conference is particularly very important and special to us as well, in addition to being able to host yourself as a cabinet secretary, but we've also been joined by incredible partners, a number of them, many of them, again for the first time in our history, led by LIMPA, METROFILE, Family Search, they have been listed here, Britam, CPF and Lights, and the others were also joining us virtually from around the world. Madam CS, we are happy that the world is willing to partner with us to drive the agenda of digital transformation for records and information management. And that means a lot to us. It makes our work lighter because we do not have to reinvent the wheel. The beauty with information management, and I know Madam CS, you are an information scientist by training. The standards are universal, the best practices are universal, so the things are already working elsewhere. Australia is one of the biggest, the country that has influenced this profession in a big way. A lot of international standards you see in records and information management are actually developed, were initiated by Australia. And we're happy we have gone right to partner with the professional association from Australia. And so I must also just point out that, I mean, the significance of records management has already been emphasized, and we all know it. I will not want to repeat that, but let me just share with you some quick statistics that researchers in this profession have told us. You know, more than 70% of organizations lack a strategic multi-year plan for records and information management, you know. And yet we are saying information is driving the world, isn't it? Knowledge society and all that. 63% of organizations are unable to apply records management policies across the enterprise. And they may have them, but the consistency, and that tells you the complexity with this. and only 9% can claim to achieve the best practice of consistent policy. These are global findings, and I'm just flagging them there for us to see the context, why this conference is important, and why we need to really collaborate as experts. In fact, if you look at the digital master plan by your ministry, I think that should be the 2023-2027, it even identifies skills, well-trained human skills, as one of the hindrances to digital transformation. And so this conference means a lot in closing that gap. But we are proud of the strides we are making as a country in records information management. I must say, we are one of the countries in this continent who have put in structures for records management. Dr. Chua is here. His department is what coordinates records management in the entire civil service. So every single state department has a records management department. That's not the case in almost 95–98% of countries in this continent. You see even the way we have robust ICT infrastructure. We also have very strong legal provisions in the country that require we must manage our information well. You know, the Evidence Act, the Information Communication Bill, data protection recently, access to information, and so forth. So these give us the basis, the sort of foundation which then we must, as professionals, build on. But we are also alive, Madam CS, of the challenges that we have to address, and which are some of the reasons this conference has happened. One, we still have big work around developing the right skills, just as the ICT strategy plan 2023-2027 says. Of course, we already know even the government's own bottom-up economic agenda identifies digital transformation as a core pillar. And this is the heart of it. So the issue of the skills is an issue we have to deal with. The issue of advocacy across organizations, national and county, private, in terms of investing the right systems and just ensuring that we apply the best practice. Madam CS, records management, and as I know you are professional information science, of the information science fields, IT, records management, librarianship, media, other than ICT, records management is the one with the most international standards. We have about 35 international standards only on records management. So that tells us the level of rigor we have to put in. And that requires advocacy, reaching out to organizations, ensuring that we can able to influence strategy around that. A big other challenge is the collaboration between ICT and records management professionals in implementing the solutions. We are no longer worried about that because you are here, Madam CS. So that will be our first ask of you to help us, and ICT authorities equally here. I see records, from my perspective, I see records management as the brakes, If I think about the relationship between records and ICT, I see records like the brakes in a car. The reason why we have brakes in vehicles is not so that we can stop. It is so that we can speed. So you speed with the confidence that you have brakes, isn't it? The truth is, if you knew your car has no brake, you will not get it out of the yard. And so we want records management to be that as the ICT professionals implement the infrastructure, they have the confidence that within that infrastructure, the lifeblood, there will be right data, right records running through it. They give the confidence to bring the infrastructure, knowing that as records people, we are influencing the quality of what runs through. So as records management professionals, Madam CS, we are committed to do what we must do to ensure that we provide that in required guidance, intellectually and otherwise, to these projects. We've talked about the partnerships. I'll not repeat that, but just let me also celebrate the partners who've been mentioned here, and you've spoke to some of them outside there. They're important to us, as I've indicated, and we want to continue even from here on driving that partnership. So on to this conference. Madam CS, we are talking about from digitization to digital transformation. Because post-COVID, we are told COVID accelerated the digitalization 10 years ahead. And that is a challenge to us as records information professionals. Today, many of us are working remotely, hybrid. Today in this country, you know, about 16,000 government services have been put on e-citizen. We are transacting our banking and other sensitive transactions digital. So we have no luxury and to drag on this. We must then be able to drive, and that's why we are saying it is not digitizing to save space the way we used to do and save costs. It's digitizing to transform lives. It's digitizing to make the lives of our people enjoyable. The Gen Zs don't want to be going to physical and completing papers, isn't it? They want to be on phone, and all of us, and get the service. We are told about 100% of companies are thinking about automation. 72% are using today a combination of paper-based and digital processes, and that number can probably grow. But also we are told 77% of workers in all organizations want to be able to access files remotely. And this is a study that was done a few years ago. I guess that has changed. Now the challenge, those files, we are the custodians, Madam CS. So we are challenged to ensure how can our organizations access information safely, secure, digitally, yeah? And then 46%, and this is interesting for all of us, 46% of employees find it time-consuming and challenging to record documents. And I'm sure you've seen the stories, the file cannot be traced, isn't it? And so forth and so on. And 25% of poorly filed documents will never be located. I'm raising this because these are the challenges, Madam CS, we want to address ourselves to. And then there's a startling statistic here that sometimes when we say people get uncomfortable, it says that 7% of all records get lost, created, yeah? Whether it's through digital obsolescence, whether it's through filing and misfiling. So we have real issues, Madam CS, that we need to solve for our society, and that's why we are here. And let me just give you an example with the indulgence, Madam CS. Let's think about health, for instance, just to bring us also at home why we must think digital transformation. Many of us have our people in the village. They will go to a dispensary and probably they go with a small book, that exercise book. The doctor makes the prescription and the medicine. And if you have the elderly like me, they are given medicine. You ask them, so what did the doctor say? They say, you know, the doctor just sent me to the lab and gave me medicine, isn't it? Then they take the medicine. Then after 4 days, they are not feeling well. The first day you'll be told, I'm feeling a bit better. Third day, they say, no, I'm still feeling not well. They go to another health provider, isn't it? Sometimes that book is lost. They are not carrying it. If there are those, some of them plaque the first paper and they give the other one to the grandchildren to go use for school. So the paper can't be traced. That sounds like records management, isn't it? Then they go to another dispensary. At that dispensary, they don't have the previous record. Some of them may carry the medicine. But the thing is, the doctor, the medical provider has no benefit of what they are being treated on. So chances are they will redo another, they will give their feelings, how they're feeling, and the doctor prescribed most likely the same tests that they did in the other hospital, isn't it? Now what that means, it makes, and probably the condition wasn't what was being treated, so they may also get the same medication. Now what does that mean? The cost of healthcare become expensive, the risk of misdiagnosis is there, and so forth and so on. But where was the problem? Records, isn't it? Because that first book that prescribed, they gave the condition, they don't have it. So the health provider may not have the benefit. Now, digitalization will help us solve this. And you do know the government started coming about the digital health, and these are the solutions we have to provide. And you can see how that then touches to our core. and to the health and the life of the people. So, and I'm using that health just to underscore. In fact, a study was done in one of the countries in Africa where 93% of records people reported having faced cases of misfiled patient records. 93% of health records officers, not someone else. You know, so that tells you why we must solve these challenges. And so we are challenging ourselves here, Madam CS, at this conference. How do we then provide the practical solutions? How do we plug into the government agenda? Lots of work, the government has painted the vision, you know, but how do we as records people get in appropriately and solve the issues of ourselves and society? And so we are here to learn these few days. And of course, you've seen Chair Vitalis, the conference chair, has shared what's going to be running. So dear delegates, I request us, please let's make use of these 5 days, the most use. We have incredible speakers, virtual, and here physically. Let's learn. You have seen technology providers out here. Please let's work out with at least 2 or 3 solutions we can take back to organizations. We are challenged as information people. We must support the vision of our CS ICT. We must support the vision of the government, and we have all that it takes. This morning, Madam CS, we are unveiling the Talent Development Program, as I said, one of the area skills, and that's a program we have developed to try and help us bridge the talent gap, identifying people, young emerging talent, and build their capacity in digital, specifically digital record keeping. I must also say that, Madam CS, in March 2023, your ministry issued what I call a directive to public entities and state corporations to digitalize their processes as they transition to paperless government. Of course, as part of the better agenda. And we asked ourselves, when the government says transition from manual to paperless, it's directly talking to us. What can we do? So we developed simple digitization guidelines, and I must thank the ICT Authority, Madam CS. We have 3 standards they have developed for electronic records. And Director Mike, we have a challenge to sensitize these standards across, even amongst our members, but they have had these standards, and we are just putting guidelines. We are not reinventing the wheel. We are just saying step 1, 2, 3, because nothing is too simple to be misunderstood. You know, follow this, refer this standard, so that we also bring the standards by ICT Authority to life, because they're supposed to engender the best practice. So we will be launching that as well. So Chief Guest, I can go on and on. I want to, I'm sure we'll be hearing more of the talks as we carry on, but let me just register again, you have made us so proud as records management professionals. I do know there are a number of people joining us virtually, yeah, and who are also, in their hundreds. We made us so proud, and we are glad that you'll be here with us. The members have asked me to invite you to consider staying on for some time. Even in the afternoon, they have prepared some good lunch for you. Yeah, and they will want also to have a chat, with you, and just also to celebrate your being here. So let me again, Madam CS, on behalf of Karma members, on behalf of the leadership, again, just register our profound gratitude and most sincerely welcome you all and all the distinguished guests to this 8th Records Management Conference. Welcome, welcome. Asante. Okay, so let me confirm if we have a guest virtual, the president of Sabika. With your indulgence, chief guest. Yeah, okay. So just to mention to you, Madam CS, Karma is a member of the global body ICA, International Council on Archives, which is the global body for records management across the world, and is structured into regionals. Here in Kenya, we are under the East and South African Regional Branch of the ICA, which is led by the president, Dr. Puleng Kekana. He was to speak, but no worry, if he's not yet online, he will speak to us later. The president, Dr. Kekana is the president of Asabica and the director, National Archives for the Republic of South Africa. Tomorrow we'll be joined by the president of ICA, Jose Kipps, who was not able to join us today, from Luxembourg in Europe. So we'll have many other guests joining us international, so just to let you know that we're also part of the global body, and we want to use that to really bring those capabilities here. So I think without much ado, allow me then invite the Director Shared Service, Michael Odhiambo, Director from ICT Authority, to speak to us, and who will invite Director Chua. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you,
Thank you, everyone. Good morning again. Yeah. So since I'll be in the afternoon session, I will not make any speeches now. I think mine really will just be for us to invite our CS and to request that we be upstanding even as we invite our CS to come and speak to us. Thank you very much, Madam CS. Karibu.
The Chair, Kenya Association of, let's be seated, sorry. The Chair, Kenya Association of Records Managers and Archivists, Dr. Cleophas Amira, the international visitors that we have, the members of Kenya Association of Records and Records Managers and Archivists, distinguished delegates, good morning. It's quite exciting to see all of you here meeting to discuss this very good agenda of records management. And I'm sure quite a number of us probably did the same cause, so we appreciate how important it is to ensure that we have our records well managed, to ensure easy processing and usage in future. So it gives me pleasure to be with you here this morning to officially open this 8th Records Management Conference by the Kenya Association of Records Management and Archivists, KARMA. I take special honor in your invitation to engage with yourself at this wonderful conference. I am delighted that the Kenya Association of Records Managers and Archivists has organized successful conferences that has brought together records managers, archivists, and other information management professions from both the public, development partners, private sector, to have a discourse on technological and legal changes in the profession. I remember when we were doing information sciences in the 90s, and I'm glad you'll be recognizing those people who have been in this field probably longer than myself. It was all manual. Now we are talking digital, and we have to move with times. This being the 8th series of this conference, the role of records and information management in national development cannot be overstated. From documenting transactions to ensuring operational resilience and managing risks. Records management is essential for the effective administration of organizations and governments across all sectors and jurisdictions. This year's theme of this conference, From Digitization to Digital Transformation, aligns closely with my ministry's mandate as outlined in the Executive Order number 1 of 2022 to automate government services. And I think from the exhibition, we have seen the technology we have to make this easy and to ensure that we are all integrated and moving together. Under His Excellency the President's leadership, the government has adopted a strategic focus on the digital transformation as a catalyst for economic growth and improved citizen services with a bottom-up economic transformation agenda. Identify the digital superhighway as a core pillar. Again, we are talking of connecting everyone, putting government services online. How do we organize this to ensure that we can access them when we need to? The digital economy is expanding rapidly, especially in developing nations, and in Kenya, it is already contributed substantially to the country's GDP, reflecting the significant potential of this sector and the need for a well-executed digital transformation journey. To date, the government has about 19,000 fully functional services in online platforms across ministries, departments, and agencies, and remains committed to bring all services onto the eCitizen platform. Digital transformation is vital to our economic development, and contributions like those from this conference are essential for its success. And again, we are glad that we have been participating in this, and we are looking forward really to continue ensuring that all our records are very well digitized and stored. I extend my gratitude to records managers for their commitment to driving this important conversation. Being an information scientist, and I'm glad Dr. Amira, we shared some paths together. I recognize that effective digital transformation relies on robust records and information management infrastructure to support and sustain these initiatives. Dear delegates, records management extends far beyond the technical handling of information. It is a critical economic issue with direct impact to our economy, particularly in today's dynamic digital landscape. Despite its importance, records management has often been undervalued and pushed to the background, a challenge that is not unique to Kenya, but observed globally. I note